The 12-day war between Israel and Iran, which claimed over 900 lives in Iran and 28 in Israel, has fallen silent, but the cessation of hostilities does not really translate to peace. Both nations are now evaluating the scars of the conflict, furiously rebuilding their shattered defenses, and now stockpiling missiles. Take a look.
It's been 1 week since the skies above West Asia have calmed down. Israeli air attacks and Iranian missiles have left a devastating trail. In Israel, these damaged buildings tell the tale of brutal force of Iranian firepower. Iran lost its top military leadership and scientists. Israel claims it has destroyed much of Iran's stockpile of weapons and launch infrastructure. But Iran still remains a force to be reckoned with. Israeli military intelligence says Iran is rapidly building new missiles and its arsenal could swell to over 10,000 missiles by 2028. On the other side, Israel, having expanded vast quantities of its sophisticated interceptor missiles and precision munitions, is engaged in its own urgent rearmament drive. The US, Israel's steadfast ally, has swiftly moved to replenish its depleted stocks. Israel is buying $510 million worth of ammunition. Iran, reeling from Israeli strikes that pounded its critical nuclear facilities, is now racing against the clock. Satellite imagery reveals frenzied activity. Tehran works round the clock to repair the damage inflicted upon its atomic sites, including Fordow. Experts who analyze these images say an apparent crane and excavator seem to be working near one of the impact sites. The UN nuclear watchdog, on the other hand, says Iran could again enrich uranium in a matter of months.
The capacities they have are there. They can have, in a matter of months, I would say, a few cascades of centrifuges spinning and producing enriched uranium, or less than that.
Supreme Leader Khamenei's warning of stronger retaliation if attacked again echoes across the region, a chilling promise that Iran is not deterred but rather hardened by the conflict. Both sides have been hardened by the recent exchange of heavy fire, each acutely aware of the other's capabilities and vulnerabilities. The quiet across West Asia is deceptive. Beneath the surface, a furious rearmament race is underway. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who would be heading to Washington later this week, has vowed to prevent Tehran from ever rebuilding its nuclear facilities, raising the prospect of a future conflict. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Ukraine is under siege. The sky is falling. Russia's army is closing in with more than 5,000 drones. Russia is boasting of a troop battalion of 160,000. Cities are shaking under nightly strikes, with the front lines crumbling. Ukraine is facing its most intense assault since the war started, and the message from Moscow is clear. The worst is yet to come.
Ukraine is not merely at war. It is enduring an escalating inferno, bombarded by an unprecedented torrent of Russian aerial weapons and staring down the barrel of colossal ground offensives. The numbers alone tell a chilling story of escalating brutality. Russia, determined to crush Ukrainian resistance, unleashed a staggering 5,337 kamikaze drones throughout June alone. This is a new monthly record that highlights a shift towards overwhelming saturation attacks. On a single terrifying Sunday, Russia barraged Ukraine with a total of 537 aerial weapons, including 477 drones and 60 missiles, in what Ukrainian officials described as the largest air attack since the full-scale invasion began. The sheer volume is designed to exhaust Ukraine's air defense systems, forcing them to expend precious high-cost interceptors on cheap disposable drones. A Ukrainian F-16 pilot was killed while attempting to repel this massive airstrike. His aircraft downed in the inferno. But the skies are not the only battlefield. On the ground, the threat is equally, if not more, terrifying. Ukraine's army chief Alexander Syrsky has issued a stark warning. Russia has amassed a colossal force of 111,000 troops near Pokrovsk, a critical strategic point in eastern Ukraine. This immense concentration signals an imminent, large-scale offensive designed to punch through Ukrainian lines and seize vital territory. Adding to the chilling picture, another 50,000 Russian troops are positioned near Sumy in the north, creating a dual threat that stretches Ukraine's already strained defenders to breaking point. These aren't merely defensive postures. They are formations for a grinding, brutal advance poised to engulf more Ukrainian towns and villages in a firestorm of steel and blood. The convergence of these two massive threats, an unending aerial bombardment designed to deplete defenses and terrorize civilians, coupled with massive ground forces poised for deep penetration, presents Ukraine with its most existential crisis yet. Facing the immense odds, Ukraine unleashed one of its deepest strikes inside Russian territory. The drone hit an industrial plant in Izhevsk, about 1,000 kilometers east of Moscow. The attack sparked a fire at the plant, which manufactures drones for the Russian military. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
India's homegrown weapons are not just deterrents anymore. They are proven battlefield tools. Operation Sindoor was the turning point. A new defense export giant is rising in the world. As Western arms giants wrestle with backlog and delays, India's indigenous firepower is now appearing as the most sought after by nations around the world. Brazil is the latest. It wants the Akash missile and Garuda artillery guns. More in this special report.
When Operation Sindoor lit up India's skies earlier this year, it wasn't imported Western tech that turned the tide. It was Indian innovation. The Akash missile system, developed by DRDO, showed its teeth in real combat conditions. It's designed to track and destroy. multiple aerial threats from fighter jets to cruise missiles. Akash intercepted them all, swarm drones and standoff weapons that slipped past even the most celebrated global systems. Brazil is the latest country aiming for Made in India weapons. Brazil has expressed interest in acquiring India's Akash air defense system and Garuda artillery guns, among other defense platforms.
Broadly, we have a few areas that seem to be of interest to the Brazilian side. They are interested in secure communication systems on the battlefield. They are also interested in offshore patrol vessels, OPVs. Brazil has Scorpion submarines. They are interested in partnering with us in maintaining those submarines. They also seem to be interested in the Akash air defense system and in coastal surveillance systems, Garuda artillery guns.
But it's not just one deal, it's part of a larger pattern. Countries across Asia, Africa and Latin America are reassessing their dependence on ultra-expensive Western systems like Patriot, THAAD or Iron Dome systems that have shown cracks under real pressure in Ukraine and Israel. India's missile systems are cost-effective, mobile and tested in combat and are emerging as global favorites. BrahMos supersonic cruise missiles is in high demand. After Philippines, countries like Indonesia and Vietnam are in advanced talks to buy it. Over the last decade, India's defense exports have jumped 34-fold to $2.6 billion in the financial year 2024-25. India is among the top 25 arms exporter nations. Currently, India exports to over 100 nations. India is making a quiet leap from buyer to seller, and the world is buying what it sees. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Shifting focus for now. Is China's President Xi Jinping losing grip on power? Is he on his way out? Or is a silent coup in works against him? According to various reports, Xi Jinping was mysteriously absent from public view between late May and early June this year. And the absence created quite a flutter in Beijing and beyond. His 2-week absence has reportedly sparked questions about possible changes at the highest levels of the Chinese Communist Party. Reports suggesting that several retired senior party leaders, including former President Hu Jintao, are increasingly playing a major part in the behind-the-scenes role. Hu Jintao, remember, was previously escorted out of the 20th Party Congress in the year 2022, a move widely seen as a show of Xi Jinping's dominance. Hu Jintao's apparent return to influence, hence, may signal a shift. Even Zhang Yuxia, once considered a close ally of Xi Jinping, is now set to be the de facto leader of the PLA. Zhang reportedly had a significant falling out with Xi Jinping after helping him secure a record third term, and Zhang is reportedly believed to have the backing of party elders aligned with former President Hu Jintao. That's not all. Reports suggest that Xi Jinping may also be losing support within the PLA. Several top generals perceived as loyal to Xi Jinping have either been purged or have died under mysterious circumstances. And their replacements are reportedly not seen as loyal to the current president. So there's clearly a lot happening. Another development raising eyebrows is the quiet removal of Xi's father's name from a mausoleum the Chinese president had helped build. And this was no ordinary mausoleum in terms of size. The monument reportedly was even bigger than those honoring former Supreme Leaders Mao Zedong and Deng Xiaoping. In fact, in Xi Jinping's absence in late May and early June, foreign leaders visiting Beijing were reportedly received by other CCP leaders and not by the president himself. During this time, the People's Daily, the official newspaper of the CCP, reportedly stopped publishing images of the Chinese president on its front pages, breaking with the usual practice of praising Xi Jinping almost on a daily basis. Security changes around Xi Jinping have also been reported. His personal protection detail has reportedly been significantly reduced, fueling more speculation about his political future. Xi Jinping is also set to miss the upcoming BRICS summit in Brazil, which is taking place on July 6 and 7, marking the first time Xi Jinping would be missing any BRICS summit. According to some reports, a leadership transition is already being considered in China. Zhang Yuxia and senior CCP leaders are believed to be backing Wang Yang to potentially take over as the next CCP chairman. Wang, a veteran politician once mentored by former Supreme Leader Deng Xiaoping, was forced into retirement in the year 2023, but reportedly remains highly respected within party ranks. The upcoming CCP plenary session in August is expected to bring more clarity on the entire matter, even as there is growing speculation that Xi Jinping could be pushed into retirement or reassigned to a largely ceremonial role on the basis of ill health and amid increasing internal party pressure. US President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk are at it again. This time, they are clashing over money, power, and a bill that could define Donald Trump's legacy. You heard that right. The two are fighting over Trump's flagship spending legislation, the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill. And in his latest late-night post on Truth Social, President Trump lashed out at Elon Musk, saying Elon may get more subsidies than any human being in history by far. And without subsidies, Elon would probably have to close up shop and head back home to South Africa, quote unquote. Trump then suggested that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, which Musk helped set up, could now target the Tesla and SpaceX founder's business empire. He threatened, and I'm quoting further, no more rocket launches, satellites, or electric car production, and our country would save a fortune. Perhaps we should have DOGE take a good, hard look at this. Big money to be saved, quote unquote. What does all of this mean, though? Now, according to the Washington Post, Musk and his companies have received at least $38 billion in government contracts, loans, subsidies, tax credits over the years, including multi-billion-dollar NASA deals for SpaceX and massive tax breaks for Tesla. That is what is at stake for Musk's massive empire. But why is this sudden falling out happening? The latest feud came as Musk renewed his criticism of Trump's bill, which is struggling to win Republican support in the Senate. Trump hopes that it will seal his legacy, extending tax cuts at a cost of $4.5 trillion and beefing up border security. But critics have warned that it would strip healthcare from millions of America's poorest and add over $3 trillion to the national debt. Just months ago, Trump and Musk were all smiles, posing for photos, exchanging praise. But last month, everything changed. After sharp disagreements over government debt, on Monday, Musk threatened to unseat Republican lawmakers who campaigned on cutting spending but planned to vote for the bill. He even floated forming a new political party, if it passes. Remember, Musk served as Trump's presidential advisor and headed DOGE until May. But after their acrimonious split, he's become one of Trump's loudest critics. And feuding with Trump could cost him. Sample this. The U.S. Transportation Department regulates vehicle design, and it can and will decide whether Tesla can mass-produce robo-taxis without pedals or steering wheels. That's not even all. SpaceX has $22 billion in federal contracts. All of that could vanish. Already on Tuesday, Tesla shares fell more than 6% after Trump's threats, erasing billions in market value. And that's just the start. Their last big fight in June wiped out $150 billion from Tesla in a single day. Of course, Musk had to walk back some of his criticism, saying that he had gone too far. But then this weekend, he rejoined that debate, calling the bill utterly insane and destructive. In fact, he warned lawmakers they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on this earth, quote unquote. He also called for a new party, saying America has become a one-party country the pokey big party, quote unquote. And this marks a stunning turn in that relationship or that equation after Musk spent nearly $300 million to help Trump win the election and led the administration's controversial DOGE initiative. Musk argues that the bill will erase savings achieved through DOGE and drive up the national debt. And it remains unclear whether Musk's criticism will actually sway the lawmakers, but Republicans fear that this public clash could hurt their midterm chances in 2026. As lawmakers voted on the bill on Monday, Musk, the world's richest man, accused Republicans of supporting what he called debt slavery, with Trump threatening to pull the plug on billions and Musk openly challenging the US president. This is no ordinary spat. It's a battle that could shape America's economic, political, and technological future. This is a billionaire battle with billions at stake. Can Trump really destroy Musk's empire, or is this just another day in their late-night drama?
Flying pretty well. It didn't look like that.